Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the timeline, the mechanics, and the absolute bulletproof mindset of a true football phenomenon, Lamine Yamal. Let's jump right in and see exactly how he's rewriting the rules of the global game.
Now, what if I told you that before even turning 20, one footballer had already shattered records that absolute legends spent their entire careers chasing? I know, it sounds totally made up, right? But it's actually the reality of Lamine Yamal. He's a teenager whose talent has honestly amazed millions and is literally changing the future of football as we know it.
Okay, let's dive into this. A record-breaking teenager, the foundation of a new global superstar.
So, Lamine Yamal was born on July 13, 2007, just outside Barcelona in Esplugues de Llobregat. He comes from a super diverse background, actually, a Moroccan father and a mother from Equatorial Guinea. He grew up in pretty humble surroundings where football wasn't just, a fun after-school hobby. It was the absolute center of his universe.
Moving on to the Masia Foundation, where raw passion meets world-class development. 7. Now that is a massive number in this story. Because at just 7 years old, Yamal joined FC Barcelona's legendary La Masia Academy. And coaches, well, they immediately noticed something anomalous. His close control, his vision, and just this sheer, unbelievable confidence were completely extraordinary for a kid who was literally barely out of first grade. And honestly, his progression from there is just staggering. I mean, look at this timeline. Born in 2007, in the academy by age 7, and making his senior debut by 15. As he moved up the ranks, he wasn't just surviving against older teenagers, he was completely outclassing them. Pundits were out there predicting a generational talent while he was still years away from even legally driving a car.
But here's the thing, unlike a lot of youth prodigies who just kind of coast on an early growth spurt or raw pace, Yamal put in the work. He meticulously put in extra hours. He studied defenders, he leveled up his tactical positioning, and he constantly refined his dribbling, passing, and finishing. Basically, he didn't just rely on natural speed, he elevated his gifts through pure, unglamorous hard work.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is anatomy of a football prodigy, decoding the mechanics of genius.
We're talking explosive acceleration, exceptional dribbling, really intelligent movement, highly creative passing, and this icy composure under pressure. What makes Yamal so dangerous isn't just one neat trick. It's the synchronization of all these traits against seasoned veterans, giving him a confidence way beyond his years. If we really want to define his sports science superpower, it comes down to this: spatial awareness. Sports scientists point straight to his outstanding coordination, agility, and reaction speed. It seriously acts like a supercomputer on the pitch. This spatial awareness lets him process massive amounts of information in just a fraction of a second, change direction effortlessly, and maintain incredibly precise control of the ball, all while sprinting at top speed. It is honestly a marvel to watch.
Which brings us to rewriting the history books, shattering the ceiling in 2023.
15. Let that sink in. At an age when most teenagers are stressing out over high school algebra exams, Lamine Yamal stepped onto the pitch to make his senior debut for FC Barcelona. He instantly etched his name into the history of an already legendary club.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how he dominated those record books. For FC Barcelona, he became their youngest ever starter and youngest goal scorer. But his rise translated immediately to the international stage too. On his senior debut for the Spain national team, he scored, making him the youngest player and the youngest goal scorer in the entire nation's history. The football world was put on immediate notice.
So let's move into our final analytical section, beyond just raw talent, the mindset of a generational champion. Now, obviously, it is impossible to ignore the comparisons here. Both are left-footed attackers, both came right up through La Masia. Fans absolutely love to draw parallels to Lionel Messi, but what is really vital to understand is Yamal's mindset. He has explicitly stated he wants to avoid imitation. He is fully determined to forge his own unique legacy, rather than just living in someone else's shadow.
Behind every spectacular highlight reel you see scrolling online, there are thousands of hours of grueling, unseen training. Coaches praise Yamal not just for his magic feat, but for his supreme professionalism, his humility, a ridiculously strong work ethic, and his relentless desire to improve daily. It's a great reminder to all of us, really. Greatness requires serious grit.
Success is built through discipline, resilience, continuous learning, and the courage to perform under pressure. Yamal's journey is the living embodiment of this idea.
It proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that raw talent alone is never enough. You have to have that mental resilience to execute when the lights are at their absolute brightest.
So, what does this all mean? Will Lamine Yamal become the single most defining footballer of his generation? His story is really only just beginning, and considering what he's accomplished before even hitting adulthood, the next chapter could reshape the sport entirely. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Drop a comment below and let me know who we should cover next.